And we are saying, again, want to repeat that we want our message to be heard.
Scientifically, Africa is in the position of warming more than 1.5 times the global mean temperature. That is science, IPCC science. Geopolitically, Africa is still at the disadvantaged position. There are more floods, there are more droughts, and the vulnerability of Africa is compounded by its already bad economic context. So, when these things happen in Africa, it's more difficult, more challenging for the continent to rise again and move on. Currently, the continent has infrastructure deficit of $2.3 trillion. And then if you add the factor of climate change, that's climate-proven infrastructure, it will lead us to $3 trillion. We don't have that money. We don't have that infrastructure. We don't have that capacity. So Africa is recognized as a continent of special needs and circumstances. Not today. It is in Article 41E of the convention that was signed in 1992. It's not something that we are bringing up today. So our question is, how has this been, taken into consideration in the Paris Agreement and the climate action that follows? It has not been taken into consideration. And there is where we're saying this is injustice, this is unfair. Okay?
Cannot be better defined than the definition of the fact that Africa is completely reached the global greenhouse gases emissions. We contribute less than 4% of the total greenhouse gases emissions, but we are suffering the greatest impact, the biggest adverse impacts of climate change. We have issues with famine. As we are talking in the whole of Africa, that 8 million people are suffering and they're staring of starvation. No food for their children. Livestock are dying right left and center. Our people have got no water. It's a desperate situation. If you go to Nigeria, there's a whole question of flooding. We saw what happened in Mozambique. We saw what happened in Malawi, the cyclone and so on and so forth. But we are saying we are not responsible for all these problems. So we are carrying the burden of someone else. We are therefore saying justice must be served to the African people. And this is characterized by acknowledgement of Africa as a region with special needs and circumstances. An agenda which was actually dropped in this COP. And we are agitated by the fact that that agenda was dropped, even though that would have been a very, very big win for Africa if it went through, because we must be treated as a matter of principle, a region with special needs and circumstances. The whole question of climate finance again was a promise of 100 billion per year, which never happened. And when you ask them, they'll tell you that this was achieved through the private sector investment. So we cannot do business with climate change. We cannot continue killing our governments with loans and more loans. That's not what we want. What we want is money coming from grants, not in form of loans. The opening of adaptation finance was a promise, even though we know that at the moment we are talking of 20 billion adaptation financing, and doubling will therefore account for 140%, 40 billion, which is not enough, because our adaptation needs is more than 86 billion. But we are calling them to actually honor their commitment in that doubling of climate finance. Loss and damage, it's also a key issue that we're still pushing. Now they have thrown it to consultations. The special council was drawn to more negotiations, more consultations, but didn't make it to the main agenda for COP. But for loss and damage again, although the agenda was passed, it was so highly diluted so that it doesn't serve the purpose. Because the moment you remove the question of compensation, the question of taking somebody to be liable for some of these particular charges, we are not making any sense out of that conversation. So we are saying, let's be deliberate in terms of agreeing on a good facility for fighting loss and damage, so that we can be able to redeem our people from this eminent issue of climate justice. Make no mistake, we are members of the same community, one planet. We are all in the same ship. Africa is on the lower deck. Some of the people from the global north are in the higher deck. But when this ship starts sinking, and it has started now, All of us, we sink. We may sink fast, but everybody eventually will go down. We must act. This is the only generation that has the last chance to do something about climate justice. If we don't do it, then of course we are doomed. We need to act now. The time to act is now. But as you can see, the African community has been sidelined. Even our colleagues, from the global north, we are marching around. Normally, the march, the global man, has so many people. But now it's only Africa marching. But it's okay. They're used to walking long distances through the water.
We want it now, now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are the global south. We are the global south. We demand climate justice. We demand climate justice. We are the global south. We are the global south. We demand to be shown the money. We demand to be shown the money. We are the global south. We are the global south. We are facing drought and famine. We are facing drought and famine.
What do you want?
Climate justice.
What do you want it?
Now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen and the people of Africa. Once again, we are here. We have come to do what we normally do. The COP cannot end and it cannot conclude without we, the people, telling our story. There is negotiations and there is the voice of the people. As you know, we have thousands of people here, but the one who speaks more is the one who feels the pain. Today we are here. It's supposed to be the day of global march. Our northern partners, not only the government, but also the civil society, said that Egypt is very hot for them, that they want to live in their comfort zone, in well-ventilated air conditions, halls at the venue, because it is unbearable here. That they are not going to come out purporting that there is a lot of police, that Egypt is oppressive. All the stories that is hogwash is because they do not want to feel what we feel, what we experience every day as Africans. It doesn't matter how many we have. It doesn't matter our small voice, but our voice, Africa should have its own voice. Africa is marginalized, not only at the governmental level, but also at the civil society and state actors who we should look upon to express solidarity with us. We have been fighting for loss and damage, special needs and circumstances for Africa. Where do we have allies? We do not have, because the COP has become a marketplace to sell technologies and to sell innovations from the north, both their governments and their private sector and the civil society. Where are we, the Africans? Our agenda which brought us here, recognition of Africa's special needs and the circumstances region, one dropped at the agenda stage. How many of our allies in the civil society and the non-state actors and government stood with us? They have their own side issues. That is going to be unacceptable, and we are going to stand as Africa. We have realized there is no one who can speak for us. We can only speak for ourselves. And so, today, to Copenhagen, some of us, my colleague and August and him, he was arrested. Was there no police there? So that they say Egypt is only a police state. We went to Poland. In fact, the whole streets were filled with the police. Was there no operation there? They are saying, I'm talking about jailing. We are human rights activists. America is about 2 million people, particularly the black people. Africans of people of African descent. 2 million people in jails. So when it comes here, they are not going to march because there is police operation and the Egyptian government. That is diversion of attention. We want action on climate change. Our people in the Horn of Africa are dying of hunger, famine. Our people in Nigeria are growing in floods. They did not cause this problem, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. We want action. We don't want them to divert attention. We don't want side shows. We want climate action and we want climate justice. So as we march, let us march. Let our voice be heard, whether it is from outside, from inside. And we hope even the northern media will not be their accomplice, because marginalization comes in many ways. I know they have power to tell the northern media, CNN, the BBC, Sky News and others not to tell our story because they command them. We have no power over them. There is no problem, but one day we are going to triumph, ladies and gentlemen. So let us march. It is not easy for us, but we are going to send our message. We go, we go, we go, we go, we go, let us go. We go, 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 we go to Namibia. We go, we go to Kenya. We go, 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 let us go. We go, we go, we go, we go, we go for Africa.
What do we want?
Climate justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Climate justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Climate justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Today is one of the most beautiful days in the lives of the African civil society fraternity, because we have here young people from all corners of Africa speaking with one voice. 12 years ago, this was not possible because the African voice was drowned, because the African voice was never at the discussion table. We, the sons and daughters of Africa, decided to come together and say it in our own words. It has never been easy for this continent that has gone through colonization, slavery, and everything in between. We can never drop our hands and cry. We want to prove to the international community that we are not complaining. We are not asking for sympathy. Nobody should sympathize with us. We are fighting. Comrades, are we fighting?
Yes!
Shall we continue to fight?
Yes!
For those who believe that the African voice should be heard through others, we say the time is over. We are used to moving in the sun, on the dry lands, kilometers upon kilometers to fetch water. We are used to move hundreds of kilometers to look for what to eat. And we are left alone. But we'll continue to fight. Whether they stand by us or they don't stand by us, we depend only on ourselves. Through this march, want to insist that the international community should remember that this problem has not been caused by us, and that they should not go to sleep and think we don't think well. We know the injustices that have happened and has continued to happen, but we'll continue to fight because it is our right to fight for justice for this continent. Today, again, is proof of the fact that we are on our own. Believe it or not, we are on our own. The issue of procedural justice is here glaringly. We never have the space to express ourselves. And even on this continent, if others think we'll continue to listen and to say the songs they sing, they write for us, we are singing our own song. Yes. Yes. The song of our history, yes. The song of our troubles, yes. The song of our struggles. Yes. All of these youth standing here are committed to fight for this continent till the last man standing. What do we want? When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Climate justice! When do we want it? Now!
The fight must stand, and we are ready for the fight.
One Africa, one voice. One Africa, one voice. One Africa, one voice. We need climate justice now. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. Adala munakia. Adala munakia. Adala munakia. Adala munakia. Adala munakia. Adala munakia.
Of the African youth and the interest of the people of Africa, we want to give our message clearly to the conversations that are going on during this COP27. We want to say, number one, the solidarity of the people of Africa will stand, and we are going to stand by our voices, and we are not going to accept anything less than climate justice and human rights being considered. Number two, the people of Africa are suffering more because someone somewhere has caused this problem, and they are not ready to join the negotiations at this COP27 because they are saying Egypt is very hot. At their comfort zones, they've caused this, and they are not ready to come and have a conversation with us. Number three, we are the global south and a continent of special needs and special circumstances, and therefore we want to demand that the special needs and special circumstances be the point of conversation without dropping our concerns. We are not going to accept anything less than our concerns being addressed. And therefore, as we follow up the negotiations that are taking place at different levels, at different stakeholder conversations, we as the Africans, we want our voices to be heard, and we are not going to accept anything less than climate justice and human rights being considered. Africa